Belfast, a city of history, adventure and surprises at every turn.
Well, this is a very civilised way to get through the city, isn't it?
From its boisterous pubs to its breathtaking coastline, we'll explore what makes the capital of Northern Ireland such a special place.
Just look at this place!
We're squeezing through the unexpected.
You took the shortcut.
Taking on local challenges.
Is that it? No.
And discovering breathtaking views that speak to Belfast's true character.
This is going to be fun.
I'm Jonathan Thompson, an international travel writer on a mission to discover the most dynamic, adrenaline-fueled destinations on the planet. Come with me as I explore the world's best adventure cities. Situated on the northeast coast of Northern Ireland, where the River Lagan meets the Irish Sea, Belfast is an ancient port steeped in history and surrounded by natural beauty. This is a city with a story on every corner, from sizzling street food to grand historic buildings, its giant causeway coast to the cosy glow of its snug pubs. This is a place where you can be sure of a warm welcome and a cold pint, whatever the weather. So what makes Belfast, the second biggest city on the island of Ireland, such a special place? To find out, I'm starting where it all began, on the river that built Belfast.
All right, so which ones are we taking?
We'll take from the back two here.
Yeah.
You'll be number 4, I'll be number 11.
Great.
A hydro bike is a bike on water. It is a unique way to visit and experience Belfast because without this river, Belfast does not exist the way it does now. This was the main carriageway for everything that came through the country up to 100 years ago. But it has changed dramatically, and what we give our customers is a great insight into how the city has developed over the last 150 years.
From early transatlantic trade to world-class shipbuilding, the River Lagan has shaped the city we see today. And speaking of shipbuilding, one of the most famous to ever set sail, the RMS Titanic, was crafted here in the early 20th century, leaving its own indelible mark on history. Tracing the Titanic's path along Belfast's system of rivers and inlets takes us to the city's edge, where an historic lighthouse keeps watch over the entrance to the sea.
Hi, Jonathan.
Very nice to meet you.
Yes, you too.
So this is the famous Blackhead Lighthouse, which is one of the most renowned lighthouses on this part of the coast.
It is, yeah. It's a very busy shipping area, and this is the main approach into Belfast Harbour, so we get a lot of ships passing here.
This lighthouse was the first lighthouse that Titanic saw. Is
Yes.
that right?
Between this one and New Island, it would have sailed between the two of them, so this would have been one of the first lighthouses that the Titanic passed on her sea trials.
On a successful voyage.
A successful voyage, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm responsible for making sure that the lighthouse is clean and tidy. The lighthouse is automatic, but from time to time I have to do some unplanned maintenance if a light bulb breaks or something stops working.
And I'm lucky because I've come here just as you are about to change one of the light bulbs.
Absolutely,
so you're going to be able to
yes.
show me how it's done.
Yes, I don't know how you did it, but one of them has managed to go out, so we do need to change one, so...
I promise I
Yeah.
didn't come up here and break it. Should we go and check it?
Yes, absolutely,
All right,
be
come
my
on.
guest.
Thank you.
For me, coming to these buildings, just when you walk through the door and you go into the lantern room, it's like stepping back in time.
So how far away would you be able to see this light?
About 27 miles.
Wow, that's a long way. Ah, look at this view.
Yeah, so Scotland would be this way, so on a clear day you can see Scotland from here.
From this point, how far away is Scotland?
About 13, 14 miles.
All right, so they
it's really
can
not far.
see the light
Absolutely,
very
yeah.
clearly from Scotland.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome. To do my own little small part in changing the light bulb was an eye-opener in terms of seeing how the system works. And also, it's really cool how a lot of the pieces of the lighthouse are still from the early 1900s. So this is really fascinating. I get an opportunity to not just see how the lightkeepers used to live, but live like one for a night. So I'm intrigued by what I'm going to find inside.
The public can stay in these houses as rented accommodation holiday lets and live the life essentially as a lighthouse keeper would have. They're nice and basic, no mod cons, just as it was for the lighthouse keepers when they were here at the lighthouse station. I remember when I was a child at lighthouses, staying with my grandfather, and this is exactly what it looked like, so you really are getting an authentic experience.
No TV, no Wi-Fi, you've just got beautiful views of the sea.
And nature and peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me around.
Not a problem, you're very
Thank
welcome.
you for giving me the opportunity to be the lighthouse keeper for the night.
Not a problem, thank you for doing my job for me.
Belfast is a city with history written into its streets. It's a legacy shaped by resilience, community, and transformation. To truly understand Belfast, you need to explore its past. I'm hopping onto one of its iconic city cab tours with Stevie, my guide for the day, to uncover the history that shaped this lively modern place. For decades, walls divided Belfast's communities during a time known as the Troubles.
We were talking about the Berlin Wall earlier on. Berlin Wall was imposed on people. These walls are self-imposed. They didn't want to be together. So before the British Army came, we had already separated ourselves.
Today, those walls still stand, but they've taken on a new meaning, becoming vibrant canvases for messages of friendship, hope, and peace.
Why is it called the Peace Wall?
Does what it says, keeps the peace.
Right, so it separates the two communities, makes sure there's no trouble. That's how it started.
Started, yeah.
And it's really tall. I mean, why is that?
Well, the Berlin Wall was 15 feet tall. Palestine, Israel, 40 feet tall. This, 50 feet tall.
Wow.
Simply because young lads, rocks, bottles, there's homes directly behind there, and they don't even know why they're doing it. It's us and them's.
So it's so tall so they can't get the rocks and bottles over.
Yeah.
But today, after the Good Friday agreements, there's been peace for a quarter of a century.
Yep.
And now the peace wall has evolved into something else. Something that is about a broader sense of peace.
When I grew up, it was a dull, dark grey wall. Now it's legal. Street artists come here. They do a lot of tagging on this wall, as long as they do not put nothing political on this wall.
It's about making a decision and about making the right decision.
Exactly, it is
and
indeed.
choosing to move forward together.
Yeah.
So you've just given me a great idea of, am I allowed to write on the wall?
Certainly you can.
As if by magic.
People from all around the world come and say, so it's good enough for Bill Clinton, it's good enough for you.
Absolutely. That feels really significant to be able to just write a little message here, to be a tiny piece of this enormous patchwork statement that goes all the way down this street, proclaiming peace, sharing, love. This wall started as a means of division, and it's evolved into a statement of togetherness, and that is a really important message, and I'm really glad to be a little piece of that. Morning.
Morning.
Very nice to meet you. I'm Jonathan.
I'm John from Life Adventure, and you're very welcome to Castlewellan Forest Park.
Thank you. So we're going to be going on a little adventure this morning.
Yeah, we're going to go out and we're going to explore the forest on the e-bikes.
Yeah.
And we're also going to experience some local beer.
Oh!
The Trails and Ales was about exploring the landscape, and the beers that have been brewed locally have been sort of inspired by those. So the different locations, so the Maggie's Leap, the U Rebel, so places that have existed, and we go visit those locations and then sample the beers.
Wow, check this out. So this is like a folly.
Yeah, so this is the Moorish Tower, which is purely an ornamental building.
I love the fact that the beers we tried were all local. It almost felt like the geography, the history, the environment we were in was all bottled up in those beers. So we learnt about it and then we drank to it. And those beers were delicious. On the bike tour, we got to explore the famous Peace Maze, which was designed by children, which kind of makes it even more difficult to solve.
It makes it finished because it represents the peace, the peace process and the troubles that got us to here. There's dead ends, there's rocky roads, there's blockages that shouldn't be there, that don't make any sense.
The obvious way to go would be that way, but I think that could be a trick.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Should we second guess it?
Let's
get in the
second guess
mind
it.
of an 11-year-old child. I think really the answer's this way. No! Dead end! Ultimately, the message of the maze is about the future. It's about coming out of the confusion, finding the right path, and then taking it together. And then, of course, there was a beer waiting at the end.
So we have Maggie's Leap. She's a historical figure that really lived here, and it's a local landmark that's connected to her about her escape from the police.
Not far from the epic Peace Maze, there's a deep chasm cutting through the coastline, which the Maggie of legend leapt across to evade the police. That daring escape inspired the beer's name and one of Northern Ireland's many drinking stories. Belfast is one of 4 capital cities in the UK, alongside Edinburgh, Cardiff and London. Of these, Belfast is the smallest, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in bags of character, not to mention a resurgent food and drink scene.
In recent years, Belfast has become a real foodie hub, and at the heart of that hub is St George's Market. There's one thing in here which I've been told I have to try, but I might have bitten off more than I can chew this time.
St George's Market is the beating heart of Belfast. In a year we would welcome over 1 million visitors to St George's Market. Something for everybody here.
This is the original Belfast pub, which dates back to the 1800s. So we have local produced sausage, Northern Irish pork, bacon, obviously free-range eggs, black pudding, white pudding and hash browns.
Wow. So it's a full breakfast in a sandwich.
It's a massive breakfast in a sandwich. Yeah.
Whoa! Look at that. I don't think there's any way that I can fit that in my mouth. That tastes amazing. I'm not going to need to eat for about 3 days after this.
St George's is all that makes this city fabulous. We have approximately 180 different traders in the market on any one day. It's a community spirit. It brings all the great qualities that this city has had and continues to have over the years. It brings them all together in this 10,000 square metre large Victorian building.
Guinness is still by far the most popular drink in Belfast. Every pub you go into will serve it. But there's one bar that serves it differently because it doesn't serve anything else.
Serving thirsty punters since 1630, White's Tavern is one of the oldest pubs in Belfast. Here, I meet Julia, an expert in the dark art of Guinness pouring.
It needs about 119.5 seconds for it to completely settle, and then we have to wait until she's completely black.
So she's a lady?
Absolutely.
Okay. And this is how the lady likes to be treated?
Yeah, with a lot of love and a lot of kindness.
Julia shows me how to pour the perfect pint of the black stuff. Hold the glass at 45 degrees, fill it to just above the lettering, and let it settle for a little under 2 minutes. This is where the magic happens. A quick tap to clear any bubbles, then top it off with a creamy head, and you've got a pint worth raising.
You feel that's good?
Yeah, it's just a bit sad looking, I don't know why.
Oh no, why is it a bit sad looking?
This is how a pint of Guinness should have looked. If I tilt it this way a little bit, it's not crying or anything. Try tilting your pint.
What does crying? Oh, is this crying? Is
yeah,
my pint crying?
It's crying a bit.
So that's
Wipe
why it's
the
sad?
tears.
Oh.
It's very sad, yeah.
Guinness is undoubtedly the king of the bar scene here in Belfast. But there's another drink that's started to make some serious waves. It's not technically correct to call it a newcomer because it's been around for hundreds of years. It's just the fact that it's legal now. Poaching is appearing on cocktail menus across the city.
So 1661 was when they banned it, and that was banned by the British Crown, you know, and that was a way of taxing the Irish people, but also trying to eradicate this culture of home distilling.
Back in the day, whenever they would have been making poaching, it would have been made on small pot stills. Now the heat would have created a white smoke, and the taxman or the Garda or the police would have seen that and known, oh, that farmer's making poaching.
It drove the category underground, and it stayed underground from 1661 till 97. So now is an exciting time to see it with a new frame around it, entering a new market, yeah.
That tastes great.
And would you guess it was poaching if you didn't?
No, I wouldn't. No, I would guess it was whiskey.
Okay, yeah.
Whiskey came from poaching, you know. They started barrel aging it, they commercialised it, they got bigger, but it came from this appetite to distill.
So this is older than whiskey.
Oh, 100%. Older than the world's whiskey, not just older than whiskey, you know.
Here in Belfast, the good old-fashioned pub is still very much at the heart of the action. But it's not just about the drinking.
In Ireland, they always like to have a good time. That's music, that's dancing, and as they say in Ireland, it's having the crack. Here it means a good time. And Irish dancing is part of that Irish culture.
Here's the thing, dancing isn't exactly my strong suit.
Is that it?
No.
Okay. I had no idea that brooms were involved in dancing.
Neither did I, until we actually discovered the brush dance, which is a very traditional dance from the Shannon side of Irish dancing, which is kind of where Irish dancing originated from. Turn 5, drop 6, 7, 8. Ta-da! Left and stop. That was really good.
Oh, right, good.
Yeah! That was
Come
good.
on!
That was good. That was good.
All right, I think I'm ready for tonight.
It would be remiss to come to Belfast and not explore the incredible scenery on its doorstep, particularly the dramatic Causeway Coast, which is a mecca for extreme sports lovers. As we wrap up our journey, we're diving quite literally into one last adventure that captures the essence of Northern Ireland's bold and fearless character.
Can you tell us a little bit about what we're actually going to be doing today?
Having fun. Coasteering's an activity, it's a water sports activity. It incorporates a lot of things. So it's swimming, climbing, jumping, caving. It's all about having fun, but it's tailored to different groups and abilities and ages.
I love my home because it's so wild still. I just love the nature, how green it is, the farmland, the ocean is just gorgeous. Every place you go along the coast is very different, and then that gives you a new experience.
When we get here, we're going to sit down and we're going to slide down this hill. I'll go first, just follow.
This sounds like
do
fun.
what I do, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so follow me.
Right, what have you fished out of the ocean?
So this is seaweed. Seaweed's actually a bad name for it because they're actually sea vegetables. There's more nutrition in seaweed than there is in any land-based vegetable. So this one is called carrageen. The extract's called carrageenan, and it's used to make absolutely everything from beer to ice cream to toothpaste.
This is magic, so it has loads of different qualities.
Yeah. Boasts over something like 60 different vitamins and minerals.
Loads of different qualities, but one of them is not taste. This tastes like chewing an elastic band.
All right, okay, well,
Sorry to disappoint you.
We are going to make our way down here nice and slowly, and then once we get down we'll jump across in the water, and then just out of sight there we're going to head up and then into a cave, crawl through the cave and come out the other side. It's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome! I love it!
Through the mountain here.
Oh, there's the cave. That looks epic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is such a buzz, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one way to get through. You took the shortcut.
Nice squeeze. Every time you go around a different corner, there's a new obstacle, there's a different type of rock, there's a different type of wave coming around. It's basically just a massive playground to us, to be honest. Every little bit around the coastline here offers us something different because we want to get into it, you know what I mean?
Okay, this looks very James Bond. It's actually quite chilled out. It's very sheltered in this little sea cave, and I'm basically waiting for Maddie to tell me when it's safe to swim around the corner, because the waves are crashing pretty hard outside the cave, and so he's going to wait for the right gap in the set, and then I can swim out and take the exit, because the only way out of here is up.
I love sharing it with others because I just want people to have a good time. There's so many people who are working every day, and then they come to us on the weekend, or it's a stag party or a hen do, and they're relaxed and they just want to have a good time. I'd say 90% of our session is just making fun of people, and it's just bringing people in and just being friends with them. That's one of the most important things. I think the person's really important. Like getting to know them, getting to know their name is massive.
What do you love about Belfast? Why do you love this place?
People.
Yeah.
On a personal level, probably the people.
Yeah, the people.
How welcoming the people are.
Well, here everybody knows everyone.
They're not afraid of hard work. They're very welcoming and always up for a bit of crack.
When people see the real Belfast, it really is just, the people are much more friendly than most other modern day cities that you go to.
You always have a laugh with someone that you don't know, which I think is really quite unique.
Exploring this ravishing coastline is an epic way to end my week here in Belfast. The Giant's Causeway is just there, and in many ways that's the perfect name, because this is a place of giant beauty, giant spirit, and above all, giant adventure.